I'm Mark Gounder, currently CEO of Hulamin Listed company in Pietermaritzburg based. Uh, I'm currently staying in Ballito together with my family, but formerly from Kule, which is a small sugar village about 50 kilometers outside Pietermaritzburg. I'm a perfect example of how a village can raise a child. And right from my young days, I grew up being surrounded by people supporting growth in an individual all the time. It talks about having respect, and I think that belief like this has brought me far in my career and has allowed me to be a contributor as a whole and in a multiplier effect, because that's the culture I was brought up where no matter what your circumstances are, the first thing that you need to have is respect. The second thing is never victim mentality. Always believe that you can strive to be better. And everyone always thinks that being better means having lots of money. And that is not in the culture that I've grown up and how I do, for example. I look at it completely different, and I look at it from a perspective of every day is an opportunity. So when you wake up in the morning, firstly, be thankful itself that you're alive. And a lot of us lose that focus. We so running the rat race that we never just be thankful that you actually got another day to be on this earth. There's two things in life that you're definitely assured of. One is you will die. And the second thing, you will pay taxes. So why not live it to the max? Now, that's the first thing that I, every morning, from a culture point of view, wake up being thankful that I've got another day. The second thing that I'm very thankful about is I've got my wife and my two boys are also healthy and alive. The third thing that I'm thankful, which comes through in my leadership style, is it's an opportunity on another day to make a difference in every person's life that I touch on a daily basis. Again, people's misconception is that by touching someone or improving their life means giving them money. But a simple hello and genuinely being interested in saying, how are you, and waiting for the reply is what I call genuine care. And in my career thus far, that's what has brought me to where I am. Firstly, the belief that I can always achieve whatever I dream. The second thing is to go, always look for having a continuous improvement mentality. And where that comes from is, bottom line is, if you look at the belief that anything is possible, and the second thing is that the belief that you can always improve on oneself. Now, that comes with a lot of perspective that you must accept that you're not perfect. And that also balances out ego. And if someone doesn't, every one of us have got egos, definitely. But it's about always knowing where you come from. And that's why I'm proud to be part of Kule and coming from very humble beginnings and proudly raised by a village as a whole. And right now, as the CEO of Hulamin, the largest employer in Pietermaritzburg, it's an opportunity to actually live according to my values and add value, not only to the 2,500 people that we employ, but a multiplier, and used on average, that's 10,000 people if I look at 4 per family. Then if I start looking at the local suppliers and the community of Pietermaritzburg as a whole, every decision that I contribute and my Exco team contribute can actually impact or touch over 20,000 people each time that we do. Now, how much people can actually say that you get to go to work and you get paid to actually make a difference in people's lives? And it all comes back from knowing who you are, knowing where you want to go to, but also the belief and continuously having a dream and not stopping at wanting to achieve that. But no individual can realize their dreams without having the correct foundations and having the right people support. That's why the key to any organization is to be able to firstly have a strategy. You're allowed to dream, and no dream is too big. But that strategy must be delivered through the people. And that's what I'm good at doing. And that's what I love to do. My number one asset is human capital. And it's not just about having people reporting to you. Anyone can be a boss, but having 2,500 people share your dream and wanting to aspire to the dream, and lastly, having your back to be able to complete the dream. And a key part about, I guess, trying to achieve any dream is you will make mistakes. So you need to create an environment where mistakes are allowed. I've got an issue where people lie about their mistakes because trust has to be earned. And once that breach in trust, that's where the problem is. I respect a person more when he owns up to his mistakes and in the same breath actually tells me how he's going to fix it. So another key way of my leadership style is I always look at a glass half full, not half empty. I don't dwell in the past too long. I focus on, I can't change the past, but I definitely can change the future. And that's the culture. If you're looking at where we're going as Hulamin, that's where we're going. We've got a dream. We know we're currently the largest aluminium fabrication company in Africa. But we've got a company that human capital is actually the best asset that we have. It's the best market that we have. And in order to be able to continuously grow, and the dream is to double our capacity. But the only way we're going to double our capacity is by earning the credibility for the investment. And that's going to come from the people sharing the dream initially, and thereafter committing to the plan of action and driving the continuous improvement culture through the system. Now, with that comes trust, which is automatic, but it talks about empowerment. A lot of leaders talk about empowering. They want to empower people working for them. But not a lot of people actually want people to actually tell them what to do. Now, that's the culture that we're building in Hulamin differently. Continuous improvement is part of our DNA. It's become part of our DNA. And a key part of what my leadership team has done is created the environment that no matter what your grade, status, job title is, we've created the environment that your opinion matters. When that happens, and it goes back to the simple philosophy that someone may be a cleaner and sweeping our floors in the shop floor, but when he goes home, he's a leader for that family. So if he's respected enough to be able to lead his family, why do we not consider him important enough for him to give us feedback in our workplace? Now, having that ability and creating that environment, I'm more than confident that we can earn the right for the investment to double the capacity of our plant, thereby continue to deliver and ultimately deliver shareholder value. Now, once we start doing that, it's one thing to improve a share price. But when you're the biggest employer in Pietermaritzburg, then suddenly you got a growth factor that's happening. More, we can create value for Pietermaritzburg as a whole. Then you can create value for KZN as a whole. And with aluminium being 100% recyclable and the future really speaking, imagine how we can put South Africa on the map as a whole in the continent itself, but by further growing into globally as such. Now, a couple contributing factors that also, I believe that's quite key, that I've used before. In South Africa right now, Gauteng has gold, KZN has sugarcane, but Pietermaritzburg has Hulamin. And that's the legacy that I would love to leave down the track. We turn 90 next year. How are my team and I are going to make sure that we're around for another 90 years? And sustainability only comes from one thing, people. And through our people, we will be definitely around for another 90 years. I started July 10th, 1995, basically as a cost clerk at Ilovo Sugar. Prior to that, I served my apprentice at Peps. The blanket and shoe aisle was my aisle. That's where I also learned entrepreneurship straight away. We got 50 Rand extra if you had the highest laybys in the week. And that's where my commercial acumen started building, because I started identifying which customers will come in potentially for huge laybys. So instead of trying to go for every customer that goes through, I learned very quickly to be able to identify trends in people on how and who are potential people to hit the big score one time with least effort. Secondly, with the efforts of my team, the ladies that were working there, I learned basic Zulu to be able to because the customer base was predominantly Zulu speaking, so I had to learn. So at the age of 18, I had to build these skills already. Unfortunately, I couldn't go study full time. I didn't have the financial backing to be able to do that, which I have no regrets. I got leadership skills empowered at the age of 18, where other people were still hitting the books. After Peps, graduating from Peps, I got into Ilovo Sugar, a company that I grew up because my dad worked for Ilovo for 36 years. So I used to play in the scrapyard, as I mentioned, about the village bringing me up as a whole. And then I was totally excited. I got an office, I got a phone, I got a computer, and and then after that, they paid for my continuation of studies. And so July 10th was 1995 was a huge starting point in my life. I started as a cost clerk of Nutsburg Sugar Mill, and thereafter my journey started. And within 5 years, I got my BCom, financial management, accounting, tax major. And instead of being a cost clerk anymore, I was actually the management accountant. So I jumped 3 positions in 5 years. My current position is CEO of Hulamin Limited, a listed company in Pietermaritzburg. Why is simple? Create value. And value, firstly, is value for all stakeholders of Hulamin, not just the shareholders. And the only way to do that is have an empowered culture or team with clear accountability that basically head for delivery. So delivery orientated, result orientated. Now, this comes with what I call brave leadership. And by definition of brave leadership, I mean you must make decisions. All right? And live with the consequences, good or bad, but always have a plan. And if you have a continuous mitigation plan in your head to be able to deliver, anything's possible. The next thing is collaboration, and it's key that you must be able to be able to lead where you're able to do it through the people. And Hulamin's biggest asset is our human capital. I believe Hulamin can add, already we're the biggest employer in Pietermaritzburg. The next step is, how do we make a difference in a bigger part in the community as a whole? And again, it's not just by giving donations. It's about getting involved in not waiting for the government and the municipalities to do everything, because that's South Africa. If you carry on waiting for someone else to do something, we won't go away. So the culture that we're building and where we're going is Hulamin to continue to grow by creating value for all stakeholders. By doing that, we improve Pietermaritzburg as a whole, thereby improving KZN and thereby improving South Africa. I think, I don't know whether you can consider it an accomplishment or not, but the best thing ever happened to me is I met my wife, and she's been my solid foundation. She's been the rock behind me through everything. And through that, I've got 2 boys, and 3 of us, basically, that's my family. And I think it goes in line with how I was brought up, where you look after your family, the respect is there, and all the time also making sure that life is more than just about money. It's about having good family values, and to be able to have, to me, it's not about what, even your kids, it's not about what degrees they have or what fancy qualifications and what jobs they're going to end up being. But do they have good values? Are they good people? And I'm proud to say, thanks largely due to my wife, I think I've been successful in that sense. 2-step process, right? The best advice that I've ever received was from my dad, who's late now. He taught me one thing, is that no matter who you are and whatever position that you may come to, always respect people. And when you listen, when you say or ask someone, how are they? Don't do it as a token. Be genuine that you want to have a conversation with someone. Don't do it just for the sake of it. And then the second one that I'll say is, if you can dream it, you can achieve it. I think for me, it's the biggest challenge would have been overcoming trying to be a victim and not having a victim mentality. And why I say that's the biggest challenge is you can quickly slip into creating excuses of why you can't achieve something. And if you look at where I've come from and my career, I didn't have anything fancy. I grew up in a normal public school, sugar village. I studied part-time. I worked and studied. It took me 15 years to do it took me 15 years to become a CA, doing part-time study. And I could have had enough reasons, and it would have been validated to not succeed. But I'm the CEO of a listed company right now. I became the CFO or FD of Illovo Sugar South Africa. How many people can say they started as a cost clerk at a sugar mill and became the financial director? Now, I'm not saying that because it's ego. I'm just trying to find out that I think I could have given enough reasons why I wouldn't have achieved any. But it's the way I think, and I don't believe in a victim mentality. I believe that anything is possible. You just need to be able to dream it and be in it for a long haul as such. Simple. Be honest. First thing is, everyone thinks that you must become a leader only when you walk through the doors. But you're a leader all the time. And it's about being yourself. So the first thing is what I do is make it very clear who I am. I take the time to listen to people. Okay. I take the time also to share with people. And by sharing, you're dropping your guard, and you're allowing yourself to be vulnerable. But to me, that's a true test. My number one principle in how I lead is I must trust you. I can't trust you if I don't give you a chance. Okay, so that's one. I also find that if you must have visible management. So talk is cheap. You must do what you physically want to aspire to, whatever it may be. Also, environment. If you continuously create a situation where you don't want people to make mistakes, that's not practical. But if you create an environment where people are encouraged to continuously have mitigating plans, it's different. Also, one of the things is I believe strongly in empowerment, but with empowerment goes accountability. So you must be, if you want to be empowered, the accountability goes with it, but you must be able to live with the good and the bad. And the bad side, you must be able to have a mitigation plan to be able to improve, because I don't believe anyone comes to work with the intention of not adding value. I believe people come to work because they actually want to add value. As a leader, you must create the environment to be able to extract the value from the people, and you only can do that by knowing your people, because all of us are unique. I'm one of the rare breed of people that had so many good mentors in my life, starting with my dad and my mom, to my wife, to my first manager. So I think it'll be unfair to name any one of them. I think all of them have made a huge difference in my life or contributed to being Mark Gounder right now. But if I can use maybe an analogy, that might be better. F1 racing, the pit stop, right? So if you look at the pit stop and if you look at where it was, right, and where it is now, I mean, they do everything right now in a matter of seconds. And if you look at where it was and you say, phew, that's like radical change, right? So now if you apply that and say, right, into your life or into your leadership style or anything, what has changed? Now, if you look at the evolution that has happened there, you have to say, what? But in order for them to achieve what they want, the number one skill is, firstly, they deliver it to the people. There's no automation there that thing comes in, a machine comes and does something. There's people that's using machines, but it's the people. So number one, human capital. Number two, teamwork. But you can't have teamwork without trust. Every single one of them, they trust each other to do their job. But they trust. It's trust. Because if one of them just slightly off, it's gone, right? So now, shared vision, training, hard work, that just doesn't happen. It comes with shared vision, but training to be able to deliver. So if you use an analogy, why is any challenge a problem? And that's what inspires me, that I always believe, no problem is too big. It's about getting the right people around you to be able to deliver what is required. And people inspire you. Being a business owner, leader, anything, or just living in KZN, it's hard. I think if you look at all our problems, the people that have the worst luck is us. From floods to riots to a tornado, of goodness sake, in South Africa recently. So you need brave leadership to be a leader or business leader in KZN. But you also have to take away the silo mentality. We're in it together, right? So how do we fix KZN together? Waiting for someone else, whether it's a government or whether anyone else, irrespective. It's about business leaders like myself getting together through our people as a whole and basically sharing the responsibility to make KZN better. And again, it's not about handouts. It's about sitting and looking at how we can improve. And I'll give you an example. A perfect one that we're doing right now is we believe the standard of education requires a lot of improvement in South Africa. So instead of, and where I'm coming from is the recruitment. I'm talking about people that we recruit into our shop floor. If we improve the quality of education and so forth, we believe we'll get more efficiencies through our plant as a whole. All right? Now, you can sit back and just wait for someone else to solve that problem for you. Or you can actually put your money where your mouth is. And what we've done, for example, right now, we just launched a program together with the Department of Education in KZN, where we've taken 20 inverted comma disadvantaged schools, right, which was provided by the Department of Education, and 20 schools that are well run and well established in KZN. And what we did is, our first insight is saying, how do we expect the level of education to improve if the school is not well run? So these 20 principals, both sides, the 20 are we're paying for a program, and we're partnering where we're doing a leadership course program over the next year. And then the second 20 are actually mentoring the first 20. Okay, supported by the theory and managers from my Hulamin team. All right. Then we've also thrown in an incentive that the school grade 12 of the 20 that improves the most, right, gets a 50,000 Rand donation from us. Right. Now, that's just one example of many that we've got planned ahead. Now, imagine if I partner with the rest of the KZN community, because for us at Hulamin, investing in education, particularly in the Pietermaritzburg area, we already investing in our future employees, and that's our thinking. And I would like to think that that's what us in KZN as leadership that we need to do right now, is be proactive instead of reactive. Move away from waiting for someone to do something, because no one's going to do something. It's up to us now to take reins on making not just KZN better, but ultimately making South Africa better, and for the future of our kids and their kids down the track. And so that's my vision. If you want to ask me what I would love to achieve in my time as leader in South Africa, is to leave a legacy where we've made South Africa better as a whole. And I'm starting small. I'm starting Pietermaritzburg, but I believe once we can build momentum, and we can make our country better, definitely as a whole. See, I've got a couple. If I show you my phone, I'll show you a couple just quotes that just I live by. One is around trust. You can't expect to lead anything or to be anything or be anybody if you can't be trustworthy. So trust and respect for me go hand in hand. But the big one for me is the ability to dream something and achieve it. And not, basically, no dream is too big. It's just a mindset. It's just about rallying behind or having the right people support, and then ultimately believing in yourself. I believe that all of us have been put on this earth for a purpose. I'm clear why I was born, and I think ultimately is for me to create value to people, and the only way I can do that is by actually adding value in their lives. So if I look at all the quotes, I think that one would probably be the best one for me is, how do I make a difference in every person's life that I interact on a daily basis, really speaking? Because it's a unique opportunity to be able to do that.